Good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to be here once again. All right, today's session is going to be quite engaging and interesting. All right, so today we are speaking about launching into 2026. Start the new year on the right foot. I'm sure everyone is anticipating, eager, excited to get into the new year. But I believe there's just so much that we need to do. All right, so I want to start again from the beginning. I'm full of energy today. So I want to say hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited to be here with you today. And I believe that this is going to be one of the most transformative hours you will spend this December. If you look at, the design, you will see a rocket, behind the backdrop. Now that rocket is not just a decoration. That's you. That's you. That's you. That's you. That's your potential. That is your 2026 calling you to blast off into your greatest year yet. And I am fired up to have you here today because I know something about you already. You are not here by coincidence. You are not here by accident. You are here simply because inside of you, 2026 is your year. 2026 is a year that you can't just be an onlooker. You feel it. And today, we are going to turn that feeling into fuel. I'd love to introduce myself properly to you. My name is Opeyemi Shokunbi, CTO Press One Africa. At Press One, will help you ensure you have flawless communication with your customers over voice, over messaging, and over other channels that you love to use to engage your customer. And I've worked with leaders, coached entrepreneurs, lead community projects and initiatives, and built businesses from ground zero for approximately 2 decades. And I will tell you something, every breakthrough that I have seen started with one decision, the decision to start right. Hear me and hear me again. Every single breakthrough I have witnessed started with one decision, the decision to start right. Starting right is not something that is easy, but you need to know exactly what to do. And today isn't about New Year resolution that you will start today and by February it's gone or it's off, you lose momentum. No, today is about building a launch system that keeps you soaring all year long. So the first thing I'd love to see or speak about is the mindset to launch with. What does the launch mindset looks like? All right, so I'm going to go a bit low on my energy and transit. So let me ask you something and be honest with yourself. How many times have you started a year with big dreams only to find yourself in March asking what happened? Now, here is the truth nobody tells you. It's not about the motivation. Yes, motivation can be a spark. What you need is momentum. Momentum. Not the motivation. Momentum. Now, the one mindset shift that separates dreamers from achievers is what I'd love to speak to you here today. Now, a dreamer waits for the perfect moment. However, achievers create the moment. Dreamers focus on the destination. Achievers fall in love with the journey. You can see the difference. And I'm going to share something that has resonated with me in almost 2 decades of my leadership. The difference between those who achieve and those who wish is that achievers treat their goals like a mission, not a wish list. They treat it like, this is what my life depends on. Not if I get it, good. If I don't get it, good. Now let's look at something a bit from a different perspective. When NASA, we are speaking about the National Aeronautic Space Agency of America, of United States of America, when NASA launches a rocket, Do they just hope it reaches space? They launch it and then they hope, oh, this thing should get to space. No. They have systems. They have checkpoints. They have contingencies. That's what we are building for ourselves today. The system, the checkpoint, the contingencies. NASA will not launch a rocket and hope that it gets to space. No. That's not how it works. And this is why your 2026 vision must be converted into rock solid action plans that can really work. Now listen as much as possible carefully and take notes as we go on this session, because this is where people get it wrong. They say things like, I want to grow my business. That's not a plan, that's a wish. I want to grow my business. That's not a plan. That is a wish. Now, a simple example of a plan says something like, by March 31st, 2026, I will have acquired 50 new clients through LinkedIn engagement and referral partnerships. I will post valuable content 3 times weekly and reach out to 5 qualified prospects daily. See the difference? One is like a fog, that appears, fades away. The other is a roadmap. With that roadmap, you'll definitely be able to find your destination. So let's get to an exercise, the first exercise for the day. Now, I'd love you to take out your phone or a piece of paper. Write down one major goal for 2026. Now, next, I'd love you to, underneath that goal, write by specific dates, I will achieve specific measurable outcome by doing specific actions. Say, I would have acquired so number of customers or generated a revenue of so amount by doing specific actions. What are the things that you would do to acquire those customers or generate the revenue? Now, that is your first rocket booster right there. Now, let's move on to the next phase where we will hit the ground running. And I'd love to be a bit slower now so that as much as possible, we engage on the conversation and I'm not speaking only to myself. Now, one of the most difficult challenge that we see in our world is that people talk. Talk is easy, talk is cheap. In fact, people also can plan. People have become better at planning, people plan. But the most challenging part is the execution. And execution is very important. Because here is what I've learned running companies, managing teams, and coaching hundreds of professionals. The first 30 days of 2026 will determine your entire year. And I will share some few practical steps you can take to get the ground running. Step 1, you need to have a December strategy session. Now, you cannot wait until January 1st or the new year before you start or you get going. Before the 1st of January, you are going to do what I call a pre-flight check. You are going to do the following and more, depending on your circumstances or how your business is structured. Now, remember, this applies to businesses, your personal life, your career, your business, your family, any area of your life. These things are applicable. Now, review your 2025 wins. Yes, review them and celebrate them. Yes, you need to celebrate them. Now, when you have done that, you have identified the wins for 2025 and you have made time to celebrate them. Maybe with your team, your family, your friends, your loved ones. Find your group, celebrate. The next thing is then to identify the top 3 skills or resources you need for 2026. Ask yourself, for this one goal I've written and several other goals we'll speak to later on, what are the top 3 skills or resources that I would need for 2026 to achieve them? Next is that you need to schedule your first 7 to 10 high impact activities for January. Schedule your first 7 to 10 high impact activities for January. When you have done that, now you move to one of the parts where the execution becomes easy. Right now, before you get to the 1st of January, you need to pre-write your emails, the emails that you use to achieve those high impact activities. You need to pre-write and generate your content for some of the activities, and then your outreach messages. You need to pre-write them now. Now, note that what you are writing now, you are pre-writing, is not cast in stone. Some of them, there will be changes, some of them, there will be improvement, but writing them now gives you that momentum we are talking about. All right, step 2, the part of the first week, which is January 1 to 7. Now, it's not for easing back in. Say, oh, I just want to ease into my year, into my work. No, that's someone who is not used to winning talking. Winners hit the ground sprinting. Winners hit the ground sprinting. Now you are going to make contact with 20 key relationships. That's the first thing you will do. Week 1 of January 2026. Make contact with 20 key relationships. Now, after you have made contact with 20 key relationships, the next thing is you need to complete your first major deliverable for 2026. It can be as easy as a strategy session with your team to set the roadmap for the year. It could be as easy as that, or it can't be that. It could also be something else. Establish your daily success rhythm. How do you want to run the year 2026? The daily success rhythm you want to attach to your pattern and your work pattern. Establish it, and then win your first small victory. Whatever it is that is critical in that 1 week or first week, just like I've mentioned, the strategy session, whatever it is, close it out and make it the first win for your 2026. Now, the next step 3, the 30-day momentum builder. Now, every week in January, I'll be asking you to track 3 things. Number 1, what moved me closer to my goal? Number 2, what tried to distract me? And then number 3, what do I do better next week? I repeat myself again. For you to build the 30-day momentum for the month of January, every week, at the end of the close of the week, maybe Friday, you need to ask yourself the question, what moved me closer to my goal? What tried to distract me? Number 2. And thirdly, what do I do better next week? Now, this might seem complicated, but I'm here to tell you it's not. It's just intentional. And intention beats talent every single day. This is not about a formula. No, this is about being intentional, about the momentum we are speaking about, you building into your schedule and into your life. Up next, I'd love to speak about how can you make the fire last all through the year. What do you need to do to keep the fire burning and making it last? Not like a fog, but something that is here to stay. Now, here is what separates the big boys from every other person. The adult, the successful one, from every other person. Anyone and anybody can start strong, but can you sustain? And this is why we need to talk about how to maintain that fire all year long, not just until February, and then that free will or that initial inertia, that initial gra, like some people will see on the streets, is gone. Now I'm going to share something a bit personal. And in my journey from being a corporate IT manager to tech entrepreneur, I have failed more than I have succeeded. In fact, I would say that the failure rate is something else. Don't let me put a number to it. I have failed more than I have succeeded. But guess what? I am still here, still building, still launching. Why? Because I learned the secret of sustainable fire. And the secret is this: your fire doesn't come from external results, it comes from internal conviction. When your why is bigger than why not, you become unstoppable. If you read a book titled Start With Why by Simon Sinek, you will understand that when you get to your core, the real reason or the conviction that makes you wake up every day and keep going or moving on a particular mandate or mission, then you will know why several great successful people never give up. When your why is bigger than your why not, you become unstoppable. You will not wake up on your bed and then you are feeling irritated. You are asking yourself, oh my, I'm going to that workplace again. Oh my, this one. Oh my. No, that's not going to be, because you have a why. And if you have not read the book before, like I've mentioned, Start With Why by Simon Sinek, I would encourage you, look for a copy, get to understand your why. Why are you doing what you are doing? And if you don't have any, you will understand how to develop or extract the why, because everyone must have what is their conviction, internal conviction. That is what will keep you going. However, I will share with you also some practical tools that you can get started with and you can use to help ensure that this your internal conviction or your why gets stronger and bigger day by day. Now, I'm going to ask you to do what I call the quarterly resets, and this happens every 90 days. We are going to do what I call a rocket recalibration. Ask yourself, am I on course? What's working that I should amplify? What's draining me that I should eliminate? I go again, the quarterly reset. Every 90 days, you do what I call rocket recalibration. Ask yourself, am I still on course? What's working that I should amplify? And what's draining me that I should eliminate? Now, please note, this is what some people will call process or goals review. And if you don't have a process where you review what is happening or what's going on, you'll get to the end of the year and you'd have achieved absolutely nothing. Now, tool number 2, and I will make out time in early next year to speak and deep dive on this tool number 2. It's called the Accountability Alliance. One of the reasons why most people are failing today and will never amount to much, not a curse, but the reality is that they are not accountable. You see people say statements like, do you know who I am? People, assume a position where no one can speak to them, correct them, or give them a new energy or perspective to their thoughts and how they are looking at things. No, they are the alpha and the omega of their life, of their decision, of everything they do. No, nothing works like that. Almost every great man you have or you see have someone that they are accountable to, someone who can call them to order, redress the situation, address the situation, or even give them a new energy and perspective to whatever they are pushing. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago on LinkedIn, I saw Pastor Godman speaking about things that helps him make a better decision. Information, the angle of the divinity, and then his own conviction. When he leverages on information and the revelation, then he helps him to have a conviction. It's very instructive for you to understand that without accountability as a person, male, female, leader, young, adult, whoever we are, we may not amount to much. And my suggestion, this is not golden, my suggestion to you is that find 2 to 3 people who are hungry like you, not complainers, not dreamers, but doers. Meet monthly with these people. Challenge each other. Celebrate each other. Push each other. In fact, you will see that in the early days of the banking, recalibration in Nigeria, around 1990 to 1995, there were young guys who started that revolution. These guys were hungry. They were pushing each other. They were, you see, I think it was Ike and Herbert Wigwe of Access Bank, still back then in Access Bank, and then Jim Ovia came up. There was just a lot of great things happening, people pushing each other, and they were, positive, I wouldn't say collaborators, but positive competitors. Now, I'm not asking you to look for competitors. I'm asking you to look for an accountability partner. Form an accountability alliance. Find 2 or 3 people who are hungry like you, not complainers, not dreamers, not people that whine. Doers. Meet monthly, challenge each other, celebrate each other, and then push each other. I'll take time in January to speak more about this, because I believe strongly that if men have people they are accountable to, homes will be more successful, family will be more united, businesses will be stronger, people will have better direction in life than what we have sometimes, where people will misbehave or people will be, not professional and no one can call them to order. Tool number 3, the evidence journal. The evidence journal. So every Friday, write down 3 wins for that week. Every Friday, write down 3 wins for that week. Doesn't matter how small, this becomes the fuel when doubt creeps in. You go back to this journal and you look at that success. There are a lot of remarkable quotes that I'd love to bring up, but I don't want it to look like this is a motivational conversation. No, I want you to really get the real gist. But there are quotes I paraphrase that say things like, if we know where we are coming from, then it will not be difficult for us to move forward. Because when you look back at some of the big wins, at some of the great things you've done, whether it was in your university days, in the early days of your career, you yourself will understand that it's because you don't have an evidence journal, or those things are not chronicled properly. That's why you struggle sometimes. So I'm advising you for 2026, have what I call the evidence journal. Every Friday, write down 3 wins from that week. Doesn't matter how small. This becomes your fuel when doubt creeps in. Because once in a while, we self-doubt. We just ask ourselves, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing? Is this what I should be doing now? Maybe I should be bigger than this now. This evidence journal will bring you back to how you should be looking at things. And when you feel like quitting, which is normal, which happens to almost everybody, open that journal and remember, I am built for this. All right. So I move on to the 5 fatal mistakes people make when they prepare for their year. Now, I want you to draw yourself close to me as I move into this conversation, as I dig deeper, and as we try to, throttle down and make this conversation a bit intense. Now, pay close attention, because this will save you a lot of wasted effort and energy. There have been years that has been wasted because, most people just don't know the right path or the right thing to do. But after interacting with young people especially, and then coaching some few leaders, building businesses my own way, and studying high performance for decades, I've identified some, top things that people miss. And I'd love to just call out 5 of those. I can't be more exhaustive than this, but I'll call out 5 of those things that people miss that make them fail to sustainably and consistently deliver results and deliver success. Please note, your 2026 is your best year yet. And for you to sustainably and consistently deliver success, you need to watch out for these 5 mistakes. Now, number 1 is that some people confuse activity with achievement. You run out of the house, you come back in the night, and then you are doing, it was a tough day. You do a lot of email sending, do a lot of phone calls, do a lot of, this, a lot of that. What did you achieve from them? That is the bottom line. So don't, in 2026, confuse activity with achievement. They are just 2 different things. Now, busy is not the same as productive. I see people work 12 hours, day going nowhere. You do 12 hours steady. In fact, some people even have Saturday to eat, and they are going nowhere. Why? Most times they are majoring in minor things. And here is the fix I would suggest. Here is the fix that I would love you to really add to what you are doing as of today. Every morning in 2026, starting from January 1st, identify one non-negotiable task. One, just one. Don't make it too many. One. In fact, I think it's the founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, that speaks about how you try hard every morning to eliminate the noise and reduce the noise level. So I'm suggesting every morning, identify one non-negotiable task. The one thing that if you accomplished nothing else for that day, we'll call it a winning day. Now that's where you start. Don't confuse activity with achievement. And for you to fix that every morning, in fact, you can start from tomorrow so that you get used to it by the time it's January 1. Identify one non-negotiable task. The one thing that if you accomplish nothing else for that day, you will call it a winning day. Do that first. Don't focus on any other thing. Now, the second thing people do and you have to watch out for and don't do is that people don't build system. They rely on willpower. They rely on, their capacity to wake up and think they can get things done. That's not sustainable. That's not going to work. Now, let me tell you something I've learned about willpower. It is a terrible strategy. Willpower runs out. Systems don't. You don't try to succeed. You build an environment that makes success inevitable. And that's why sometimes you look at some third world countries, you look at some developed countries, you ask yourself, why do people who are struggling in that third world country move to that developed country and they start doing better? It's simple. It is the environment. It is the system that has been built. You can't get to work and then instead of you working, you are making calls. No, you must clock in that time. So for you to achieve that, you automate, you delegate, and you eliminate. You automate as much of your activity as possible. You delegate the things that someone else can do aside yourself, and then you eliminate things that is not meant to be on your table. Create processes that work even when you are tired, even when you are discouraged, even when you don't feel like it. The process is already there to keep the machine running. That is the system that you need to build to succeed in 2026. Now, the third one is also very critical, and my co-founder is extremely big on this one. The number 3 mistake people make is that they lack ruthless prioritization. Now, here is the hard truth, and Mayowa keeps saying this, my co-founder keeps saying this as much as he has the time to share with every member of the team. Now, every yes, if you say yes to something now, is a no to something else. Successful people aren't afraid to say no to good opportunities because they are committed to great ones. I've watched talented people, especially young talented people, destroy their potential or not maximize their potential by chasing every shiny object. This one is what is working now. Boom, they run into it. They said this one. Boom, they run into it. They said this one. Boom, they run into it. You cannot serve 2 masters. You cannot pursue 10 goals. You need to pick 3 major objectives for 2026, and that's it. Everything else is noise. Just stick to 3 major things you want to achieve for 2026. Poof, shut the door to other things. Because you need to understand that until you are ruthless with prioritization and you are picking the most important things ahead of all other things that looks fanciful, you will not amount to much. I'm also going to take time to speak about how people decide or make decisions based on their temperament, but I don't know whether I'll cover that this year or next year. And why I'm saying this is that the sanguine, for example, an happy-go-lucky person wants to have a lot of things in front of them. They want to do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Activity seems to be the adrenaline that runs them. No, you will not be successful running such a funny structure. You must prioritize. You must learn to say no to things that sometimes look very interesting. It can be a trip, it can be a business opportunity, it can be a partnership. You have to say no and not lose focus, because if you keep saying yes to everything, at the end of that year 2026, you see yourself close up the year and you ask yourself, what have I achieved? What have I achieved? And this is not a prayer or something that you have to do gymnastics around. It's process driven. Don't prioritize ruthlessly. Lack that capacity, you might not amount to much, and 2026 will just fizzle out and you might not know what you've achieved again. All right, mistake number 4, they don't have real accountability. Now, this is coming up again. I spoke about it when we were talking about the inner conviction, know your why. This is coming up again. It's critical, it's important. People lie to themselves constantly. I will start Monday. I'm just taking a short break. This isn't the right time. Now, you need someone who will look in the eye, or who will look into your eye and say, stop lying to yourself. You are better than this. Get up and do the work. Now, you don't need a cheerleader, not a yes person. You need a truth teller. Someone who loves you enough to challenge you. That's what you need. So don't say your accountability partner is your buddy or your best friend or your husband or your wife. If those people are not your truth teller, don't make them your accountability partner. You don't need a cheerleader that says, oh, good job, good job, good job, good job. Well, if that's what you want, trust me, that won't get you to results. Yes, when you have done a good job, people should appreciate you, no doubt. But you need people who will look into your eye and tell you when you are bluffing, when you are not doing the right thing, when the work is not done properly. Even if you will not like it, even if you will fight them, they must still stand up, own it, and tell you. Someone who loves you enough to challenge you. That's who you need to be your accountability partner. Number 5 for now, because there's just so much mistakes people make and stops them amounting to greatness, is that people quit before the breakthrough. And this is a killer. Some people say that the more the generation is growing, the more the staying power of people are dropping. That's another conversation. The 3 P's of success. I'm not sure. I just don't know how to put all these sessions together. But I think those will go into 2026 so that we can have a very, very elaborate conversation about them. People quit before their breakthrough. Your staying power is low. Your staying power is not that, robust. This is a killer. You see some people quit, say, using an analogy of time, 11:59 p.m. when their breakthrough is coming at midnight. I've been there before. I've seen a scenario where, because of one technical partner, we lost over 90% of our customers. And it happened towards the end of the year. About the start of December. Yes, about this time. Over 2 years ago, we lost over 90% of our customers. It was as if, the world should crash on me and then we should just quit and then we say, no, we'll move on to the next big thing. Clients leaving, team frustrated. And what choice do I have, my co-founder and the team? Is that I would give up or we'll give it one more push? And that one more push changed everything. It changed everything. And this is why you need to understand that you cannot quit before your breakthrough. And yes, this one other thing I know about breakthrough. And I hope I'm not being rhetorical, but I hope someone here is listening and you might be at the verge of, quitting or telling yourself that I've had enough. Let me just move on to the next big thing or shining thing. Or no. Don't give up. One thing I've known about breakthrough is that they always come after your breaking point. And the question is, will you be there to receive the breakthrough? Will you be there to receive it? I hope it's not someone else that will be there to receive it on your behalf. Success isn't for the talented. It is for the tenacious. It is for those who say, I will stay in the fight one more round. One more round. And that's what might end up getting the person to success. If you read about most great men, they always have a point in their life that, just like science will say, they get to their breaking point. And they will say, oh, what should I do? When you speak about elasticity, that's physics and some other things that I'm not sure will interest my audience. There is always a point for that material to be stretched, and before it breaks, it says, now I am ready to break. But what I'm saying to you is that success is not for the talented. I don't want to go into the conversation of, first class students are not the most successful. No, that's not what I want to go into today. What I want to go into today is that it's not about how talented you are. If you read a book authored by J.C. Maxwell, Talent is Never Enough, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. You need character, you need to be tenacious, you need other factors to come in for that success to then gel with, the talent that you have. So it is for those who say, I will stay in the fight one more round. All right. So I've spoken about 5 mistakes people make, and I'm closing out now. And I'd love you to drop it in the comments, if, which of those 5 truths or 5 mistakes people make connect most with you. So here we are, the moment of truth. You came here today for a reason, and I don't know why. You've heard the strategies, you've seen the roadmap, you know what separates winners from wishers. Now comes the only question that matters. What will you do with this? What will you do with what you have heard and all that I've said today? What will you do with it? I don't know. Now, I want you to do something right now. If you can stand up from where you are, I want you to stand up. And I love you to, put your hand on your heart and say this with me out loud. 2026 is my year. Repeat it after me. 2026 is my year. I will not waste it. I will not shrink back. I will launch with everything in me. I will build systems. I will stay focused. I will keep the fire burning. And when challenges come, I will remember that I am built for this. I am ready for this. I am launching into my greatest year yet. And to close and to wrap up, if there's any question, I'd love you to drop it in the comment section. Let's interact. If you are shy, you don't want to drop it in the open, drop it in my inbox. I'll pick it up from there. One of the things I love to say to you is that before you sleep tonight, write down your top 3 goals for 2026. Don't overthink it. Write it down. Now, this weekend or before the end of this year, specifically the last week of the year, I'd love you to schedule your strategy session. And right now on the comment section, if truly you have followed, you've gotten value from the conversation, comment below one commitment you are making for 2026. I want to see it. Tell me what you are committing to. Let's create the momentum together. And listen. If this session has, added value to you, fired you up, encouraged you, it's going to be up, for people to watch later on. Repost it, comment on it, tag someone who needs to hear this. Because success is better when we launch together. Again, I will remind you about the rocket that I have on the design for this, LinkedIn Live program. It's not just an image, it's a declaration. It's a declaration that you are launching in 2026. You are going higher than you have ever been, and nothing will stop you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for being ready. Now go and make 2026 legendary. Now, thank you for everyone who has joined. I love the energy today. Even myself, seems like I'm quite excited about the session today. Please repost, reshare, comment, tag your friend. Thank you everyone for joining. For those who drop chat, Peter Adedoyin, thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. Samuel Otwiko, thank you, Sam. Seth Ayado, thank you, Seth. And every other person who joined, but I can't see your name because you did not ask question or you did not type launched. You did not participate in the instruction I gave you. All right. Thank you, everyone. So until we catch up with ourselves next week, see you then, and bye for now.